What's up, guys? We are back here, another live stream, another week. Got the NHL and NBA playoffs coming at you live. I got Mackie here with me with the Expos hat on, Huff in the car, ready to get his best Scotty Scheffler impression going on today. But before we get into that, let's get into some of these NHL playoffs. There's some odds jumping right in front of my eyes, so that's pretty exciting. But I don't think it matters too much. We're going to start off in the East, where we have the Carolina Hurricanes hosting the New York Islanders, who had a strong season push, I believe, going 8-0-1 in their final 9 games to clinch these playoffs, grabbing that Metro 3 spot. But the Carolina Hurricanes coming in at minus 430 to win the series. The New York Islanders coming in at plus 330. Do you guys think there's any value in these New York Islanders? How do you think this series is going to go? Mackie, start us off as our New York representative.
Yeah, I'll say there's definitely a little value because we know that NHL series goes. We've seen one of the worst teams in the league, the Columbus Blue Jackets, beat the Vezina or the President's winning trophies, Lightning a few years ago, swept them 4-0. So we know how these series can go in the NHL. With that being said, I don't see them winning this series. I think they can keep it close, maybe get 6 games out of them, but I think this Hurricanes team is too strong. They've been too strong down the stretch.
Yeah, you're not wrong there with the Islanders being a pesky opponent. Huff, jump in with your point here before I give my take on the series.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally think this Carolina team's too loaded. They obviously got my guy Jake Gensel down there. That's just one of the many pieces that they have in that Hurricanes lineup. I think the Islanders have their hands full in this series. I think the only way they stick around is the reason that you've been saying, Ace, they went on that run. Ilya Sorokin, I think he obviously has the ability to not only steal a game, but possibly give them a fighting chance in this series, get it to 6 games if possible. On my bracket, I went with the Hurricanes. I think this is the only sweep that I picked in the first round. Maybe Mackey's Rangers. I can't remember if I went with 4 or 5. But I do have the Carolina Hurricanes in this series. In game one bet I did already lock in. I took it last night. Hurricanes to score first, Bruins to score first. Give me both home teams to light the lamp at home, get their home crowds into it. Those arenas are going to be buzzing. I like that play. I like the Hurricanes to get on the board first. I think they win the game. The minus 1.5 was a little tempting to me at the plus 122, 25 I saw it floating at. But I'm big on the Hurricanes today. I like them to get on the board first. I might hop in on a money line or a regulation win maybe. The 1.5, the Islanders like to play those defensive, slower style, lower scoring games. And if the Hurricanes try to play into their play style, I think that'll feed right into what the Islanders want to do.
Yeah, I mean that's a good take there. And you're talking about Sorokin. I misspoke on Wednesday as well. It's going to be Varlamov getting the series start. He's been very hot to start the series. Still a valiant goaltender in the net. I know he's not Ilya Sorokin. We think he's a top 3, top 5 goaltender in the league. Varlamov, probably one of the best backups in the league, almost a tandem like the Bruins out there in New York. However, I'm right there with you, Huff. I don't think there's any chance for these New York Islanders. I think I might have taken them in a sweep. Free plug right here. If you still can, join our Hit the Books free bracket challenge. We all did our brackets there. We're going to be posting those online for you to see. But I had them as a sweep in the first round, too, for the reasons you mentioned. That team is too loaded. You have Gensel. You brought him at the deadline. They brought in Kuznetsov at the deadline. They already had guys like Svechnikov, Aho. The defense is loaded with Brent Burns coming over last year and the rest of the guys who have been there. And finally, the Carolina Hurricanes have a healthy goaltender in Frederik Andersen. It's not James Reiner. It's not Peter Kochetkov in the net. They have their starting goalie that they paid all this money for. This team is too big. They're going to bully them, too skilled, too fast. Islanders would have had a better matchup with any other team in the East. They got the buzzsaw in the first round. There's the Carolina Hurricanes. I think they sweep them. 4-1 gentleman sweep is a possibility. But I don't see how these Islanders can get anything going unless Varlamov's able to post a couple of zeros. Mac, you have any other take on this game? I kind of cut you off there before I jumped in.
No, just 2 years ago, this series went 6 or 7-0 in the first period under. So if you guys like betting that,
I was in Vegas for that. I took it almost every game.
Yeah, you could definitely hop on that trend in this series.
I'll tell you what, though, I don't think this Hurricanes team was as good as it's been now, and they're a bit more playoff tested. They've rounded out that roster top to bottom. There's no holes in this lineup. Guys like Martin Necas, Steven Nosen, lines 1 through 4, everybody has somebody. Jordan Stahl, he's going to be looking to shut down their top line with Barzal, and then you have the offense rolling in every spot. The Islanders like to initiate their gameplay onto other teams, but you can't do that against a team who's bigger, faster, and more skilled than you in the Carolina Hurricanes. Toughest matchup they could have gotten in the first round, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think this Hurricanes team has been.
They got on the blue line. I think they're able to hang with the Islanders' defensive style, and I just think the Carolina is going to score too many goals for the Islanders to keep up with.
It's not the Eastern Conference Finals. There's no playoff woes for the Hurricanes yet. Once they get there, if they get there, then we'll talk about that story. But in this first round, I like them to get it done in 4 or 5. Mackie thinks 6. So at most, we think it's a 4-2 series. Everybody's leaning the Hurricanes. So you can go ahead and take that -1.5 on the series odds to it, -176, it sounds like. But that's still pretty steep. Let's keep it in the East here. Go over to my team, these Boston Bruins. Probably the most exciting series in the first round. Maybe the closest line on the books. I think it is. It is. Yeah, it is with the Stars and Knights coming in a second. But the Bruins -120 to take the series as the favorite. The Atlantic 2 seed against the Atlantic 3 seed in the Toronto Maple Leafs. A historic rivalry. We've seen this time and time again. You always get great content out of it. It should go 7 games, over 5.5 games, sitting at -188. It's still pretty steep. Everybody thinks that it's going to go at least 6. I think it's definitely going to go 7 just because of the way these series always go. I'm excited to see Matthews go up against Marchand. The Bruins, they're going to take my bet, obviously, homer pick, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Bruins goaltending tandem going up against the weak Joseph Woll and Ilya Samsonov and 69 goal scorer Austin Matthews. I've got the Bruins in 7, but wouldn't be surprised if it was 6 as well if the Bruins start playing their game the right way. Mackie, let me know what you think about this Leafs-Bruins series.
Yeah, I mean, it can go either way at the end of the day. I think if it goes 7 games, I don't think the Leafs stand a chance against that Bruins team who has all that experience and just how things have gone in the past. Leafs do not get it done in game 7s. But if they can maybe get it done in game 6 when they're on their home ice, they can definitely win this series. They match up pretty well against them except for the goalie part, but Matthews can go off, Marner can go off. Obviously, you have Tavares. They have the names over there. If the Bruins aren't that deep, so if they're struggling early on in this playoff series, they can definitely get themselves in a hole. With that being said, I think the Bruins are going to take it in 7.
Yeah, I also have Boston in this series. I like them. Like I said, I have them to score first today with the Hurricanes to get back to that play there. But I think they start out hot. I think they take game 1. In this series, obviously, we've seen this series several times, even just in our lifetime. It feels like, obviously, Ace, what was it when you guys were down 3-1 that game? You came back in game 7 and won in overtime.
Bergeron,
Yeah,
Bergeron.
there's been so many. I just feel like the Bruins' little brother, the Leafs, all the time. I have the Bruins taking this in 6 games, but I think they win today as well. I like them on the money line. I didn't take it yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, first time the Bruins play a playoff game without Patrice Bergeron over 15 to 20 years, but we've seen this matchup plenty of times. Pastrnak, Marchand have been in this. Last time that they matched up, Pastrnak chirping Justin Bieber on Instagram before Game 7, if you guys recall that. But I like the matchups. I like the matchups here. I do think that the Bruins have a good answer for what the high-scoring offense Toronto brings. Mackie talked about some names like Tavares. They have Nylander, Marner, Matthews. It goes on and on. But I think that that defensive end is still weak. It's the same old Leafs problems that they always have. Goaltending, revolving door in the net. They don't know who it is or how he's going to play. Defenseman not strong. It's just a high-powered offense. Meanwhile, the Bruins got McAvoy, Lindholm, Shattenkirk, Carlo on the back end. They called up the young kid Lowry. And while they may not have as much depth as they've had in the past years, they're a bigger team. Some of their younger guys jumping into their own. Zaka, Frederick, Coyle. I think that size and skill is going to play a part in this 7-game series. I would like to see a Maroon Revo fight. That'd be on everybody's playoff bingo card in round 1. That'd be a pretty cool one to see. But Bruins probably going to go with that rotating goalie style with Olmark and Swayman. They'll both get some action in the series. And for that reason, I think the Bruins get it done in 7. But this one's going to be one of the most exciting ones. And this is what the whole playoff format was about, to get these rivalry games in the first round. And that's what we got here. Let's shift it over to another Atlantic series, another rivalry, the Battle of Florida. Line's a bit steeper than I thought it would be, but the Florida Panthers went to the Stanley Cup last year. They're built for success with that roster. Matthew Tkachuk leading the way, and they've added at the deadline in the offseason to create top to bottom just a solid team. Grabbing that Atlantic 1 seed at the end of the year, they're kind of shuffling with the Bruins. That looked like they were out of it, and then they came out with it in the end. They're sitting at -194 to take down the Lightning, who are sitting at +160. I personally am on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think they get one more chance to little brother them in the Battle of Florida. This is the last time that Vasilevsky, Stamkos, Kucherov group can do that, but not going to be easy. I have also this one going to 7, one of my few 7-game series in the playoffs. Let me know what you guys think about this Lightning Panther series.
You want to go, Huff?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I'm on Florida here. I like this Panthers team. I think the offensive ability that they're able to put up. Obviously, we know the veteran and playoff experience that comes in with this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Nikita Kucherov in the season that he just had, so not discounting his offensive ability. Obviously, most points in the NHL this year. I'm definitely scared of this Lightning team. Not my most confident pick in the playoffs. I'm going to go with Florida in 7, Ace. I think they get it done on their home ice in Sunrise.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Florida in 5 here. Ace, you have always gave this Lightning team a lot more praise than I think that they deserve, and for good reason, I guess, what they've done in the past and that franchise that they've had in the past few years. But I mean, Reinhart and Barkov, I think are just gonna tear apart this series. Vasilevsky's
They're
not
so
who he was
good.
3 years ago. You got Bobrovsky in the net on the other end. This Florida team is so good, and they played like it all season. This Tampa team has kind of been lacking on the season. They sat in that one wild card. They were comfortable in that first wild card for towards the end of the season. I think this Florida team just outmatches them really well, and I think that I don't think the Lightning give them much of a fight in this series. I think it's over in 5.
Mackie,
Yep.
like me and Ace were saying on Wednesday, do you think Bobrovsky can go on another run like that, or do you think last year was just a hot year?
I don't think it was a run. I think he's a top 5 goalie in the league, and he's got the experience, and he's got the team in front of him. So I mean, if the team's just playing like they should, this is a series.
That's what I think. If the team's
It's
playing
not-
the way they should, he doesn't have to go on a run.
It's not a run like Aiden Hill went on in or was that Logan Thompson who played in that series?
Aiden Hill.
Yeah, it's not a run like
I
Aiden
mean,
Hill's
Aiden
going
Hill
on.
had an easier job than Sergei Bobrovsky, in my opinion.
You-
Bobrovsky
not
came up
in-
large in the playoffs last year.
You think Aiden Hill has an easier job than Bobrovsky this year?
Last year.
I
Only
wouldn't
because
even.
Vegas is a more defensive team in Florida's offense.
Vegas had that size. They had more depth, I think, than the Panthers last year. But the Panthers addressed some of that depth this year. They brought in guys like Tarasenko. They shored up that defensive side. One thing I would like to flip the script on you, Mackie. If you remember just 1 year ago today, a guy you're saying is top 5 goaltender, and rightfully so, you could argue that, he was backing up Alex Lyon to start the Stanley Cup playoffs. It took a while to get him in, right? He had a tough end of the season. So he's really
It's also like saying the Rangers fans call him for Quick in the middle of January.
yeah,
I mean,
but Alex Lyon isn't Jonathan Quick though. So that's just one thing to remember from last
He
year.
was playing like it.
Yeah, no, he got pulled early in that series, and Bobrovsky righted the ship
in the playoffs. It's a different.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Bobrovsky has that potential. He can play up to that spot. They're getting Aaron Ekblad back too, but I'm gonna go back to, like you said, and it's for right reason that I'm leaning on these Lightning. One other thing you forgot to mention: Nikita Kucherov having a career year. You think he slows down at all? I don't. He put up the most points in the league this season, 144 points, taking home that Art Ross Trophy. I think the Lightning are going to get a chance here. Vasilevsky, yeah, he hasn't been playing like himself, but what is better than playoff hockey to right the ship there? I think he's able to. I think you get some value in that plus 160 on the series here. You guys are saying under 5.5 games that's sitting at plus 140, over 5.5 sitting at minus 172. I don't think if it was another matchup for the Panthers, if they were able to secure a Metro team in the wild card, if they were even get the Leafs, I think the Battle of Florida plays a narrative in this series and pushes it to 6 or 7 with the rivalry. But that's going to be a great one nonetheless. A lot of top end skill for both teams. And then let's go to our last series here in the East. Mackey's New York Rangers, one of the heaviest favorites in the first round, as they get the team, the Washington Capitals, who came in at minus 37 goal differential or plus minus on the season. That's crazy to me. I don't know how they made the playoffs. Huff's team getting edged out just at the end. Same with the Red Wings. Capson at plus 315 to take the series. I think there's no value there. I think they go a gentleman's sweep here just because of Ovechkin, Oshie, some of those guys. Maybe Lindgren steals a game somehow. He's not even that good. But I got the Rangers winning at 4-1. Minus 1.5, minus 170. Maybe you parlay that with the Hurricanes. I think the two of them easily get the job done and wait the second round while the rest of the East finishes up. Rangers too deep, too skilled. They've been here before. Caps just happy they got there. Their fans are like that too. Let me know if I said anything wrong there.
I have the exact same take as Ace. I don't even need to repeat it. I was going to say the exact same thing. Rangers.
Yeah, I don't really want to dive into it because I don't want to jinx anything. But I mean, you got to take care of business here. All the pressure's on, so there's obviously that aspect too. But this team's too deep. Lindgren has been playing really good hockey though. But you got to remember his brother's on the other side. He probably knows all of his weaknesses too. So Rangers have a bit of an advantage here in that aspect, and just they're the better team here. Caps is definitely the ideal matchup for the Rangers. So just take care of business. Honestly, it should be over in 4 or 5 games.
The only thing that's going against these Rangers, we got to mention it, is that President's Trophy curse. Does it loom large? They have a pretty easy matchup on paper. I don't think it looms large at all. If they got maybe the Penguins, maybe the Islanders, either of those teams could have given them a little bit more run there for their money. But the Capitals, lightest opponent that they could have garnered, in my opinion.
It's not quite your Panthers matchup last year.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They're a true 8 seed, the Washington Capitals are. And with Igor Shesterkin, that defensive core that the Rangers have been able to build up the past couple years, Fox, Trouba, Keandre Miller, the list goes on and on. I think it's going to be tough for them to find offense. And then with the firepower they have up front, led by the Breadman, Zibanejad, and some of the guys that have blossomed like Lafreniere really in this season, I think it's too much for that first round. Maybe we'll get a Rempe sighting with this blowout here. We'll get a Tom Wilson, Matt Rempe fight. That'd be kind of cool to see. But other than that, I think there's not many fireworks, and the Caps offense is going to struggle. I know McMichael, Strome have been stepping up, new guys on the scene, but Oshie, Ovi, great players, fun to watch, past their prime. They're not going to be able to get it done. Rangers in 5 for me. Let's go over to the West now. A lot better series out here. The Avalanche and the Jets, probably one of the most marquee series in the West, in my opinion. Maybe the second most. Colorado Avalanche already hoisted a cup. Winnipeg Jets, we know what that whiteout's like up there for the playoffs. They also have the Vezina candidate. They made some great deadline moves. Both of these teams really did. The Jets bringing guys like Toffoli and Monahan. I know they brought in Velarde before the season started. He's really flourishing there too. The Avalanche, meanwhile, they brought in Middlestat. They brought in Zach Parise. I think they bolstered their point a little bit with Sean Walker. So this is going to be a tough series. Nathan MacKinnon also with a career year, finishing second in the points race behind Nikita Kucherov. You know he's firing on all cylinders. Mackey, I know he's leaning on that plus 115 for the Jets with the Vezina Trophy candidate. It's so hard for me to go against Nathan MacKinnon, the star-studded lineup, Cale Makar as well. We've seen this series before. I got the Avs in 7. I think the high-powered offense finds a way. Nathan MacKinnon's not getting knocked out in the first round when he has the best year of his career, in my opinion. So hard to say because I love these Jets. Wish they got another matchup because they could make a deep run. Whoever wins the series can go deep, in my opinion. So you got to pick right in this round if you're doing a bracket, but let me know why I'm wrong with the Avalanche, Mackie. I know you're on the Jets.
Yeah, I'm not going to say you're wrong because I'm never going to say it's a bad take when you're taking the Avalanche. But, I mean, this is a tough matchup for them. Winnipeg's on an 8-game winning streak. They have the Vezina in net. This team's been playing hot. And we saw the Avalanche get bounced last year, first round to the Kraken. So, I mean, they're looking at a lot better team now. I know, obviously, McKinnon's having a career year this year, but this is definitely going to be a tough matchup for them. They have Georgiev in net. And I don't think if this goes 7 games, they're going to go into Winnipeg in a whiteout with that place bumping and get a Game 7 win. I don't think that's possible. I think if anything, they're gonna have to get this done in 6 games or just take care of business early. I'm gonna go Winnipeg here in a really tight battle. This is probably gonna be the series of the best series of the first round.
I do the Avalanche. It wasn't my most confident pick. Probably the one that I'm probably least confident in the entire first round. This one, going with the Avalanche, I do have them in 6, Mackie. I said the same thing. I think the home ice advantage is big for Colorado. I think if they want to win this series, they're gonna have to win it in 6. Game 5 is going to be crucial in this one because I think if it gets to a Game 7, I like Winnipeg's chances to close things out. I think Hellebuyck would stand on his head in an all-time performance in Game 7.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about Georgiev, and that's what I'm saying. I have the Avalanche. I've been beating this drum ever since they sent him there. You can't win a Stanley Cup with Alexander Georgiev as your starting goaltender. And I know that goaltenders in the playoffs haven't been as important of late. I'm still going to lean on having a good goalie because at least quells your mind when you're on that penalty kill. The guys like that. That's a deep roster up there in Winnipeg. They have a lot of lines that can score, led by Kyle Connor. But the list goes on and on. I mentioned those additions they've had. They have Josh Morrissey on the back end. He's a perennial Norris candidate, in my opinion, ever since the last few years. But like I said, the high-end skill for the Avalanche is going to get the job done. McKinnon, Rotten, and Makar, you have to stay out of the box if you're the Winnipeg Jets, or that deadly power play is going to send you home in the first round. This is going to be a great series. I think it definitely goes over 5.5 games. That's sitting at minus 188. But do you think that guy is a lock over 5.5?
Yeah, for sure. And you're not going to see Georgiev win this series. If they win it, it's going to be by the star-studded offense. Yeah. And you could also see this Winnipeg offense go ghost. It's not an offense where you have all these. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, they have star-studded offensive players, but you could definitely see these players go ghost and just, especially against a team like the Avalanche, where it's an intimidating team to play. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket with Winnipeg, and I know I took them, but this is definitely my least confident pick.
Yeah, it's such a tough series. And one thing that I would like to call out last point in this game, I think this third line for the Avalanche, a rebolstered third line. I know they got bounced in the third round, but do you know who's sitting on that third line? It's Miles Wood, Zach Parise, and Casey Middlestat. A very good alternate option. You can find secondary score in there, a lot of leadership presence. They rebuilt this roster pretty well around a pretty expensive top-end group. I'm excited to see it. Jets, I don't know what you do if you can't get out of the first round here. You sold so much to get there. Hellebuck, you're the Vezina winner. Got to show us something. Let's shift it over to another matchup here. I think these central matchups are much tougher than the Pacific ones. This one, Huff is excited for him and Jesse potentially going to one of the games. And the line is crazy to me. I know I shit on these Vancouver Canucks all year long. They're frauds. They're frauds. They're frauds. First round, they're going to lose to who they play. Well, they were able to secure a top seed. Now they get the Nashville Predators. I think one of the lightest matchups they could have seen. I know UC Saros is great, but it's surprising to me that these Canucks, who are so skilled and talented, are only sitting at minus 150 to take home the series, and the Preds are plus 125. I love the Canucks minus 1.5 at plus 138. I think they get the series done in 6, maybe 5. It depends on if UC Saros can post a 0 or 2, but I don't think there's too much hope. I know they have Philip Forsberg, Nyquist, Ryan O'Reilly. They have some good pieces. Roman Josi, a top defenseman, but the depth is not there. The high-end skill is not there. Saros is going to have to stand on his head. I've got the Canucks in 6, maybe 5. Huff, come in with your Nashville Predators take. I know you're kind of bandwagoning there as you're going to go see a game live.
Yeah, I'm definitely bandwagoning on the Nashville Predators this year. I think they have a good chance for all the reasons you said. I'm not sold on this young, inexperienced core, this Vancouver Canucks team. They're obviously loaded, and it's not going to be the easiest series for Nashville, but I think UC Saros has a nice series. I think this is kind of similar to that Islanders series, but I think it'll work more to the Predators' favor. They're going to slow down a high-powered offense with a defensive style playing ability. I think Nashville does that better than the Islanders will against Carolina. I have Nashville winning this series in 6.
Yeah, all you said about the Canucks ace, I agree with, but I just don't think that they're going to run into problems in this series. I think that this is a pretty easy matchup for them. A 17-game point streak for the Predators kind of got them in the situation. I don't really think I think they're probably the weakest playoff team in the West. I just think this Canucks, the high flying offense, and even on defense, they have Quinn Hughes on defense, putting up the points, but it's just too much for this Nashville team, I think, and they'll run into their problems later in the playoffs. But I think that they get through this first round.
Yeah, and the list goes on and on for the Canucks. That's the one thing we talked about with some of these top teams. Like the names are there. They have Pedersen, they have Miller, they have Besser, Hughes, and you know what's even better? Mac, did you know this? Did you know this? Thatcher Demko back in the mix. His first game back, stopped 39 of 40 shots. He's looking sharp, ready to go. The 6'4" Tendy going against the small guy. And Saros, Huff and I looked up their heights the other day. We were pretty surprised to see that. Saros, he has the ability to stand on his head.
Saros is?
No, how tall is he?
5'9".
Oh,
you know how big Thatcher Demko is? 6'4".
6'4". I didn't know he was tall.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting one to watch. I agree with you, Mackie. There's no depth for the Predators. It's just that top-end skill of Josi, Saros, and Forsberg, and then it's the rest of them. I like O'Reilly. I was telling Huff he's a good matchup.
I like the experience of O'Reilly in this series.
But once you get down the lineup, I know their third line's been very productive for this year with Jankowski, I believe it is. But it's not skilled enough to keep up with the Canucks. Too fast, too good. And I know the inexperience might come back to bite me because I preached it all year long. Got an easy matchup. I got him win this game in 6. We'll see, though. Moving across, this is probably after the Bruins, Leafs, and the Avs and Jets. This one's very tough, too. The Dallas Stars, they won their division. They put up a lot of points, and you thought they'd be – or they didn't win their division. They came in second. But you thought they'd be – yeah.
Stars won they were 1 seed in the West.
All right, yep. Misspoke there. Good catch, Mackie. But yeah, this Stars team, you thought they'd get a better matchup is what my point was going to be, right? You have a great season. You have this roster that's loaded from top to bottom. Guys like Joe Pass sitting lower in the lineup, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, vets. And then you have guys like Rupe Hintz, Jason Robertson, top-end skill on that side. Some young guys like Wyatt Johnson popping on the scene. Defensive core that has some good players, Miro Heiskanen to lead the way. And Jake Ottinger, I know he didn't perform up to par, didn't play great in the playoffs last year, but he's supposed to be a top-notch goaltender, young American in this league. They're only sitting at minus 130 here. Knights sitting at plus 108. I feel like that's going to be a popular bet for a lot of people. They scheme the IR like those Lightning of teams past. I feel like if the Knights go on to win this series easily, everybody's going to be like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe we didn't take that. I've got the Stars in 7 here, though. I think they're finally due to break through. Vegas Golden Knights didn't look too strong down the stretch. Their goaltending was still – I don't know how they won the Cup with a goalie like that last year. I guess it's because of that roster they put in front of them. And I know they're getting everybody off the IR now. You got Stone, you got Hurdle and Eichel and Petrangelo, yada, yada. They're loaded. We know that. They just won the cup. They're not going back to back. I don't think they're built that way. The only reason we saw teams do it before is because Vasilevsky was in the pipes. I've got the Stars in 7. I think this is going to be a great, great series. I want to be the most exciting one to watch late at night. Love how it's out west, so we can watch it after my Bruins, after your Rangers, Mackie. It's going to be exciting to watch. Let me know who you got here, Mackie. Stars, Knights, plus 108 for the Knights on the line.
Yeah, it's probably the other best series in round one because all that star-studded Vegas lineup and the experience they have, obviously from winning it last year. But I'm gonna go Dallas here. I think that they're kind of built for the playoffs this year. Ottinger's been playing really well this year. You have that star power up front with Jason Robertson, Jamie Benn. I think that they get the job done. It's gonna be a tough series. I'm gonna call it in 7 as well, but I can see it get done in 6.
I'm going to go with Vegas here. I like Vegas, the experience basically for kind of the reasons you guys said, like the reasons that kind of scare you. I think obviously I don't like them to go back to the cup this year, but I think the experience, all the guys they brought in at the deadline, Hannafin, Hurdle, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone coming back. I think this team's going to get back to where they were last playoffs, be one of the harder teams to play. I like Vegas to win this series. I like to think they could do it in 6, but I also like their chances to win a Game 7. How many Game 7s have we seen Dallas lose in our lifetime?
That's what I've been saying, Huff. We've seen it double overtime, triple overtime, yada, yada. They get to that spot and they can't close the door. I think they finally get it done. It's the first round here. Tough first round matchup. But like we were saying, there's depth on the Dallas Stars team. You want to see a tough matchup for the Vegas Golden Knights? It's the Dallas Stars. They match up very well. In the one place where the Knights can kind of expose them, I think they're a little bit smaller on the back end. The Dallas Stars are. Not too much defensive depth, but Ottinger really helps shore the load there. I think Eichel and Hurdle are going to be really fun to watch. Stone coming back in the lineup. We haven't seen him play in so long. That fourth line for the Vegas Golden Knights featuring William Carey has been very productive too. So maybe that depth scoring that won them a championship last year will show up. But let's shift it over to our last matchup. 2 Pacific teams. We saw this matchup before in the playoffs, and I'll tell you a bet I love right now. The Edmonton Oilers minus 1.5 in the series is sitting at plus 114. I love that. I love that bet. They're sitting at minus 192 to win the series. The Los Angeles Kings backdooring into the playoffs, sitting at plus 158 to win the series. I don't think there's any chance for this Kings team. They don't have the goaltending. They don't have the depth. They're very young and ahead of schedule. I know they rebuilt and still have Kopitar and Doughty, but guys like Byfield, I don't think they're beating the Oilers. Draisaitl and McDavid will not be able to be contained. Stuart Skinner, he's been jumping up the ranks the last few weeks. I think they had that long stretch earlier in the season, but they played some pretty good hockey down the stretch. Los Angeles Kings played weak to finish the season, almost dropping that final wildcard seed to the lowly St. Louis Blues, but they had an easy road to get here, in my opinion, and now it's done. These two teams matched up well. I think the Kings grab one potentially, but I think this is a big playoff series for the Oilers. They have one of the most friendly brackets. When I was filling my brackets, I don't know about you guys. They win this round, they get the winner of Preds and Canucks. I love that for the Oilers. They're just playing inexperienced and weaker skilled teams. McDavid should have his own. I know playoff McDavid sometimes doesn't show up, but he's got to. 100 assists in the regular season. Leon Draisaitl, one of the best goal scorers. There's some more depth out there. Stu Skinner, like I said, playing well. Got a minus 1.5 to win the series. I got the Oilers in 5. Mackie and Huff, either of you disagree with me in those Kings takes, or you think they get the sweep, or it goes a little bit longer?
Yeah,
I have the Oilers sweep, and I don't have much to say about this series. You kind of went through it. I just have the Oilers in 4.
Yeah, hot start got the Kings here as well. I don't think that they stand much of a chance.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the lighter series. I think we can see some score sheets be lit up by these Oilers, put up a lot of points. Might be a rotating door in the net for the Kings, but it's going to be a great first round. It starts off here tonight. We got the Bruins and the Leafs. That's going to be a great game to open it up. But right before that, we get the Hurricanes and Isles. I think the Hurricanes kind of slap them around a bit. I got them minus 1.5, plus 125. Like Huff said, got the Bruins on the money line, got them on the puck line. It's Boston Bruins. Come on now. You're going to hear that goal horn going crazy. But this NHL playoffs is going to be great. Looking forward to it. We'll have some more live streams for you. We'll have this covered in the podcast going down the stretch. Best time of year, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of different ones. There's the March Madness time. There's the fall time. I love NHL, NBA playoffs with a little bit of MLB, which we'll get to in a bit. But let's flip our focus over to the courts, where we got some good NBA playoff matchups. The playing games wrapping up yesterday. The Kings getting knocked out by the Pelicans. Didn't see that coming. I did see the Heat really handling business, taking out the Bulls, lowly Bulls. So we got the Heat and the Sixers getting in on the eastern side, and we have the Pelicans and the Lakers getting in on the western side, closing out our brackets. So let's get right into it. Starting off with Mackey's New York Knicks. They're hosting the Philadelphia 76ers, the most untrue 7 seed from a play-in tournament of all time. And I'll tell you what, The Knicks are barely favored at -118. The Sixers sitting at -104. Huff and I both said we like the Sixers in the series on the podcast. If you listen, Mackie going to disagree firmly, I believe. But Mackie, let us know. Jump in with your take on this Knicks 76ers series, sitting at basically even.
Yeah, I'm gonna be unrealistic here. I just don't think the Sixers team is that good, to be honest. And I think that if you can just contain Joel Embiid, just contain him. All you gotta do is contain him. And you don't even Huff, you're looking like that. His only
It's the MVP, dude.
All
His
you
only-
gotta
It's a lot
do is
bad.
contain
his
Joel
only
Embiid.
game against the Knicks this year, he was like 6 for 29 and like a minus.
Was he
30.
injured though?
No, he wasn't. It was early in the season. And the Knicks won.
Yeah.
The Knicks have held the Sixers to under 100 points 4 times this season. This is what they do. They're built for this. They have it in them. Brunson's going to go off, I think. They have the supporting cast. That's what it is about this series. The Knicks have the supporting cast, and the Sixers don't. The Sixers have Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre is not getting.
They have other people. They have other
Lowry
people.
is playing like shit. Tobias Harris.
Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey is the wild card here, and if he's going to be able to drop 30 in a few games, then Knicks could be in trouble. But I think that you guys are just underrating this Knicks team. They're playing really well, and they really do have an MVP candidate in Jalen Brunson. I don't care what you say; he is 100% an MVP candidate and should be on the first team All NBA. But I like the Knicks here. I really do.
That being said, what do you got him?
What'd you say?
What do you got him in? Give us your series take.
I'm gonna say 6. I think it's going to be really tough to go to beat Joel Embiid in a game 7. I do. So I'm going to say 6.
Before Huff and I jump into our takes, let me pose this to you, Mackie.
It's got to be 7.
Is this the one matchup that you didn't want in the first round, though? You could have had the Magic, the Pacers, or the Heat, and you get the Sixers. How tough is that in the top year for the Knicks?
I think we all know that the Sixers are not a 7 seed, and the last person you want to run into in the first round is Joel Embiid. But the Knicks are built for this. If anybody wants to see, if anybody can beat them in the first round, it's going to be the Knicks. I think that
the Julius Randle Knicks are built for this.
Yeah. OG Anunoby. You got to remember.
There's gonna be no answer for Joel Embiid. And you know, it's nice. He just had a bunch of time off. It's early in the playoffs, so there's still tread on the tires. If you go later in the series, maybe some tread wears off. But I think that the Sixers are able to get this done.
He's also not 100%. He's not 100%. You can't say if you watch that game, he is not 100% at all. And the only reason they won that game is because Jimmy Butler got hurt and the Heat just fell apart.
Yeah, but I still got the Sixers in 6 here.
I agree though. I have the Heat the 76ers in 6 in this series.
Yeah, and I think that Maxey Brunson matchup is going to be fun. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Maxey, a good defensive player and really growing into his own.
Come on.
I think if Jalen Brunson not Jalen Brunson, if Julius Randle was healthy, I think there's a better chance for them. But I think without him, it's going to be a tough series. I like the value for the Sixers here. This is not a true 2 versus 7. I feel like this flip could be scripted almost. I mean, tough series for the Knicks, I think, in the first round. Tough draw. If they got the Pacers, they got the Magic, I would have locked them in 5 or 6 games, but they have the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round.
Do you realistically think that Maxey can contain Brunson?
No, but it's not the easiest matchup in the world.
I mean, Brunson just tears apart whoever's in front of him, but I just think you're going to need like 7 perfect games from Joel Embiid. And if he's not 100%, it's going to be really hard for him to do that.
But on the other side of the coin, are you going to need 6 perfect games from Jalen Brunson?
That's what I'm saying is that no, because we have the supporting players. Josh Hart can go off for 30 a game. Dante DiVincenzo can go off for 30 a game. They have the players. They have the depth. I think that they're in a good spot. Deuce McBride, the defense on Deuce McBride.
I will tell you what, though, if they're able to survive this first round, the New York Knicks, tough matchup with that 7 seed, then the schedule does get a little bit friendlier because of their 2 seed there. They might be able to get that winner of that 4-5 series, which is a lot weaker. We'll get to that in a bit.
It's Pacers Bucks.
No, in round 2, though, I'm saying
2-3. It wouldn't be 4-5. One plays 4-5.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm thinking if there's an upset in the other round. Yeah.
Which also is a great match. I mean, that's a great matchup as well. I think if we get through this, we just got to worry about the Celtics.
All right, let's jump over to the next series. It's going to be surprising to me. I don't know about you guys. The Milwaukee Bucks are underdogs in this series against the Indiana Pacers. Is that crazy to hear?
Yeah, I think it is.
They're sitting at plus 106 and the Pacers at minus 132 in the first round of the playoffs.
It's a sketchy line. I have the Bucks winning this series in 6. I just think the experience. I know this Pacers team won the in-season tournament. I'm on Milwaukee here.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam. That is not hype for me. I'm not too worried about that. I think the plus is so generous to the public. They're trying to get them to buy in. Damian Lillard, you brought that guy in. I know there's some injury concerns on the Bucks side. I still got him to win the first round. Mackie, what do you think about this Pacers-Bucks series? I have them in 6 as well, huh?
I just don't trust this Pacers team. I know even without Giannis, but you still have Dame. This team's still pretty. You still got Middleton. Like you still got these players. If anyone's gonna blow, it's gonna be Doc Rivers. So
Yeah, you're not wrong, and that's going to be tough. But crazy to me to see those Pacers favorited as a low seed. Tyrese Halliburton not even playing up to his potential of late. We'll have to see how that goes. That series is going to be an interesting one without Giannis, but I think they're able to survive and hopefully get him back later down the stretch to hopefully see the Celtics. But let's get into this next one, the Magic and the Cavs. Magic, remember we had them in our top 5 in the power rankings. We were like, how are they going to stick around? I guess they're kind of legit because they made a nice push in the playoffs here, avoided the play-in tournament. Now they get the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think it's a tough matchup. Huff likes this young Magic team. They have a lot of young superstars really coming into their own. I think they're very ahead of schedule, but the Cavaliers have much more established players on their side. I think they have a deep roster. They've been here. That's another key piece. It's not their first time getting to the playoffs with this group. So I think the Cavs are able to get them done pretty easily. I think they dispose of them in 5 or 6 games. I think the Magic grabbed one, so we can see that funny video on Instagram that Huff loves seeing after a Magic win. But Huff, let me know why you like the Magic at plus 168 to win the series.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The road, the playoff inexperience, their struggles on the road this year. I think they handle business down on their home court in Orlando. It's going to be tough. I know they start the series in Cleveland for games 1 and 2. I think if you can split there, go back to Orlando. Obviously, you'd like to win 2 and get up 3-1. Even if you could split there, I think if you turn this into a 3-game series in game 5, 6, and 7, I think these young players of Orlando are able to keep pace with this Cavs team. I'm not big on this Cleveland team. I haven't been all year. I'm going to go with the Magic in 6 or 7. I'm not confident, but I'd like to see them get it done in 6 at home, but I definitely wouldn't hate their chances to go to Orlando and win a game, or go to Cleveland and win a game.
Mackie, Cavs, Magic. Let us know who you got.
I don't know. Whoever wins, they're just gonna get swept in 4 by the Celtics regardless. But I'll go the Cavs just because the Magic of the Magic.
We've been high on these Cavs all year, too. We've had them in our power rankings a few times. I think this is a pretty light matchup for them in the first round, personally.
I could see it over in 5, too, but I don't know. Maybe Huff's seen something in this Magic team. I haven't watched a lot of Magic games, so I don't really know. But maybe Paulo Banchero can steal a few games here.
Yeah, who is it? Suggs, too, the other young superstar.
Huff? Jonathan Isaac. They have some good, nice young names down there for sure, but Cavs
it's the young talent. And then let me ask you this question. We're going to go to the last matchup in the Eastern Conference. Here we have the Boston Celtics taking on the Miami Heat. Mackie, the Celtics, did you see this line? They're at minus 110 to sweep the Heat. Do you think there's any chance?
I did not see that.
Do you think there's any chance the Heat, without Jimmy Butler, can win a game in this series?
Oh, yeah, I think that they could steal one for sure. It's playoff basketball. It's a little different.
In Miami.
Different atmosphere. In Miami, they can maybe steal a game.
The whiteout with Spoelstra, and they have the depth. Celtics maybe drop one, careless basketball.
It would have to be the Celtics dropping one. It's not the Heat stealing one.
Yeah, and it's crazy to say because with Jimmy Butler, maybe we get a different series. I don't think that the odds change that much, but they handled their business in that last playing game last night. And this is a historic rivalry if that plays into it at all, but I don't think it does. The Celtics owe this team from a few years ago, this Heat team. They're going to prove to them that they're world beaters. I think they make a statement and go out and sweep them in this first round. 4-0, Celtics firing on all cylinders. Got to get back to playing meaningful basketball. Maybe they start a little slow in game 1, so don't take that first half line, but I think they'll be able to get there. Let's go over to the West, where it's much more interesting, much more interesting, in my opinion. Let's start off with the Lakers versus the Nuggets. The Nuggets coming in at minus 420. It's 420 today. Happy 420 to those of you that celebrate. And we got the Nuggets at minus 420 on the line. Huff's excited about these Los Angeles Lakers being at plus 310. I think there's zero chance that the Lakers get past this round. No depth. I know Anthony Davis playing great basketball, so that makes me think maybe they can win one game this time. Got swept last year, but I got the Nuggets in 5. Mackie, you see anything else by the defending champs that tells you otherwise?
Listen, I think there's value. I mean, whenever you have LeBron and AD, I think there is value. And what is
to win the series?
What did you say? Plus 3 something? Plus 420?
Plus 310.
Plus 310? Yeah, dude. I mean, it's
to win the series. They're sending Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets home in the first round.
Listen, you've seen crazier things. You've seen the 8-seed Miami Heat beat the Celtics last year. I mean, yes.
Don't place the bet.
Listen,
Send me the money. I'll hold it for you.
Listen, I'm not saying that they're going to win, but I'm saying there is value in the plus 310. But I mean, you have Nikola Jokic on the other side. So
are you taking it?
No, I'm not taking it. I'm just saying that there has been worse lines where we've talked about. But I'm going to go
serious prediction.
Nuggets in 6.
Wow, you're respecting LeBron so much. I don't know if you watch any of their games this season. That team supporting cast around him is nothing. I know LeBron got
Listen,
bailed out by Anthony Davis in the playing game too. That's kind of important. Anthony Davis, best player on the floor, not LeBron James.
okay, relax. Anthony Davis just steps up in the big moment. Also,
He's had a great year.
if you can get a game or two out of D'Lo for 30 points, they can definitely win a few games. But I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll see.
if he's shooting 3 for 17, then it's over.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. Getting a phone call there. I think people call me mad about the Lakers in the series, saying I don't think they have a chance, but I really don't think they do. Let's keep it moving here in the West. Much closer series here. Timberwolves sitting at plus 114. Had a great season. They're playing the Phoenix Suns. And if you recall, the Suns haven't put together. Huff comparing them to the Brooklyn Nets of years past on the pod earlier this week. But we said it all year long. Yeah, they might not gel. They might not gel. But if you get into the playoffs against these Suns as a lower seed, that's a tough draw because of the star power they have. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. I'm excited to see it. I've got the Suns. They're sitting at minus 140. That's crazy to me. I think they send the Timberwolves home packing. This is Huff's dark horse bandwagon team that he wants in the West to go home. He thinks Anthony Edwards has had a great year. He thinks he's going to continue with it. I don't see it happening. I think their road ends here. And I know that they've been in the playoffs before, but that's too much skill on the other side. Yeah, it could collapse. The Suns could lose in 4 or 5 if they don't gel. And why would they gel? We haven't seen it all year long. But I think that skill shows up. And when Kevin Durant wins this first series at minus 140, he's going to be like, you all thought I was going to lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves? Be all over Twitter. I've got the Suns in the first round. I'm going to say 6 games.
Yeah, that meme of Anthony Edwards saying, "Yeah, they got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels" is gonna go viral for sure. But I'm gonna go Suns as well. I know this T-Wolves team is good, and Anthony Edwards will have his years where he makes his runs, but Gobert, I mean, we've heard it 1,000 times. He can't finish games, and I think they're gonna have a tough time finishing a team like the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. I think that's going to be a great series. That might be one of the best series in the West to start the first round. But let's flip it over to another series that might be even better. It's the Los Angeles Clippers coming at plus 110 against the Dallas Mavericks. I saw a great clip of Luka and Kyrie doing a shoot around together, matching up with each other. Those two are going to have huge series if they want to get past it. Luka probably the best player in the series, though. And they're going to have to stay healthy, too. Two of them sometimes come off the floor. Talking of health, the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, load management king himself. This is what he plays for all season long. They're going to be healthy going in. They've got a good supporting cast with James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I like the depth over there in Los Angeles. Maybe this is the last run at a title for a lot of these guys out here on this team. I like them at plus 110 to win the series. It's crazy to me that they're that much of underdogs. Do you think the Mavericks or the Clippers win this one? It's going to be a great series. Two great teams here.
Clips in 7, and just because of Kawhi, but this is gonna be a crazy series. And
a lot of star power.
Kyrie and Luka can definitely steal the series. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. This is not a confident pick, but this Clippers team with Kawhi.
I love seeing a plus
Leonard,
sign near that Clippers team. I don't know about you.
Yeah, wait. What'd you say the line was?
Plus 110 for the series for the Clips.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, they get 4 games at home. I'm gonna take the Clippers.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Maybe those old guys in the Clips can't keep up with them, but I think they're going to get there. They put this team together well. They gelled. Remember what James Harden said at the deadline? We like to highlight this quote. Once we put it together, it's going to be scary to watch, and I think it is. Mavericks
I will say, with all that talk about Kyrie being a locker room cancer, he's really put his head down and just played basketball recently, and he's been doing his job. So that's definitely not a team.
I'm attributing that to Luka Doncic, actually. He
Okay.
embraced him. He let Kyrie do his thing. They're not, you know how a lot of people try and put Kyrie in a box when they put him on their team? Yeah, they let Kyrie do his thing. And Luka, one of the great superstars in the league, seems to be a great leader, in my opinion. The two of them flourish together. They're going to have to put up a lot of points this series, though. And like I said, stay healthy. Kyrie's got to be on the floor for all the games in the series if they want to have a chance at winning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go over to this Pelicans Thunder series. I'm kind of mad the Kings didn't get there. I don't know about you. I wanted to see them or the Warriors take on the Thunder. They would have given them a better run for their money. No Zion Williamson for the Pelicans really irks me going into the series
for the year.
Yeah, he's out for at least a bit. I think he's definitely missing the series because they said a few weeks when he got injured in that first playing game, which they fumbled to the Lakers. He doesn't get hurt. They're playing the Nuggets. I don't know. That's more of a death wish, I guess, than the Thunder. But having Zion Williamson would have been nice. Guess what the line is for this Thunder series? Minus 650. The heaviest line we've seen in both NHL and NBA for the first round all day. Pelicans coming at plus 440. I think they'll be lucky to win one game, maybe at the Smoothie King Center. But this Thunder team, so loaded top to bottom. Had a great season. They went to the playoffs last year. Coach of the year, probably. MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Great supporting class. Now they have Chet Holmgren. Pelicans, I don't think they have a chance. You think they get even one game this series?
With Zion, I think this could be a really good series, but I mean, They could have. I mean, CJ McCollum's playing terrible basketball. It's gonna be really hard
Brandon
to steal from.
Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Ingram's playing well, but it's just like with players like CJ not playing well, it's going to be
Mhm.
hard for them to steal games from this OKC team. If they're playing their style of basketball, if Shai's getting his fouls and everything, I mean, it's going to be really tough to beat them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that the Thunder got a great matchup out of all the 4 teams in the play-in. They got the latest one to come out of it. That's why you get that 1 seed because of this. Great way to end that regular season in the West. And I think they coast into the second round. A lot of favorites here I like in this round. Those 2 middling series will be a little bit better with the older teams. Suns and Clips are my picks, but going to be interesting to watch. We got some NBA basketball playoffs starting soon, so definitely tune in. We'll have some more live stream updates on that. Going to be a great first round. I think the West much more competitive than the East. All right, and that's all we got for our first round playoff series. Let me go over some quick MLB for you. I know we spent a lot here on playoff sports. Everybody's much more excited for that. We have some good games on the slate today. Let me highlight 3 of them for you. Mackey's Mets taking on the Dodgers again after a impressive win last night. The Mets really turned the corner on their early season. Winners of a lot straight. Yesterday they beat the Dodgers 9-4 against Yamamoto in Los Angeles. That's pretty crazy. Today they got the youngster. What's his name? How do you say that last name? Buto.
Budo, I think.
Budo taking on, yeah, he's got a .75 ERA to start the year. He's been pitching well. He looks like a next coming up to the scene. Still searching for his first win. No decisions on the year to start. Going up against Gavin Stone, the youngster for the Dodgers. They're waiting for their pitching staff to get healthy. Dodgers sitting at -185. So if you're feeling those Mets again, you think they steal 2 from one of the best teams in baseball. It's been slipping early on the season. Then go ahead and take that plus, friendly plus. But I don't think the Dodgers drop 2 in a row. That'll be a great game. Another game that's going to be pretty good on the slate. We got the Rangers and the Braves. It's Nathan Eovaldi against Charlie Morton. The Braves coming in at -150. 2 teams that are expected to go very far this year. I think that's going to be an exciting matchup. And then another one is going to be a divisional matchup between the Yankees and the Rays. The Yankees look like one of the best teams in the baseball. That's why they're all over the top of our power rankings. But they got Zach Eflin going for the Rays, one of their aces going against Nestor Cortez. That game's at 1 o'clock here, so definitely tune in for that one. Going to be one of my favorite ones. But I'm all over the fucking Boston Bruins tonight. Drop the F-bomb for you there because it's the NHL playoffs. We're ready to go. The Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on tonight. Hurricanes and the Islanders, like I said, going to be some great playoff hockey. Got some MLB to load us up during the day. Get your MLB TV big inning going in the NBA playoffs starting on today as well. 1 o'clock first game, Magic Cavs. Then we got the Suns and T-Wolves, 76ers and Knicks, and end the night with the Lakers and Nuggets. So that should be a fun one as well. A lot of great sports here. We went over it all. Let us know what you think. Go follow, like, subscribe. Podcast coming out next week. Might have some watch alongs in the first round. Stay tuned. Enter the bracket challenge. Great day of sports. Great weekend of sports. Pleasure having you here with us this morning. Let's go, Bees.